jazz age living, old fashioned sipping, pizzazz ain't missing, got the fat cats kissing. Let's bring the old age back. Awake everyone from his nap, we bringing the. Moving back, we're getting off track.
Quickly.
Florida football, dude. Right. Florida football.
Okay. This year, we talked about like why, I'm like all of us going to the University of Florida and how I was not a huge fan of like Florida college football initially. And like I go to Florida, we win 2 national championships in football and 2 national championships in basketball within my first 3 years.
Unreal.
And I took the entire thing for granted because I'm like, this is college.
This is what's up.
And didn't it affect your overall attitude in everyday life too?
Everything. So that year we're voted the number 1 party school in the nation. One of those years.
I remember that. Yeah,
that was like a big deal because then they like really like locked down the next year.
Talk about like recruiting, right? Like number 1 party school in the nation. But it's like we're winning titles. We're lighting sofas on fire in the streets on Archer Road.
That was cool.
Like we're all out there partying like on University Avenue, winning this champ. People are climbing like the light poles, and I'm like, oh, cool, this is college, right? And then the dark years, right?
Brantley,
Morning Weg.
God.
You go back to Morning Week. He played like 3 games.
I don't remember that name. That's
dark games.
Skylar is his name. Okay, so if your name's Skylar, you're not going to be good at football. I'm sorry.
I can agree with that. I have a friend named Skylar.
Great swimmer.
Yeah. So all that, and like now that's my expectation. That's my baseline performance expectation of our University of Florida college football program.
Because you were set in your ways early on,
right?
Which was what the rest of us.
Yep.
Like when we're not winning championships, I'm like, what's going on?
It's called the Gator standard for a reason.
Exactly.
Right. So when that's not happening, the entire campus. Well, for the people who at least care about the football, it's like, or the people who have experience, like, it's downtrodden. Like,
it especially was downtrodden after Tebow and the Brantley years because everyone was expecting it, and then when you didn't win, it's like no one went out.
And then you rally behind like the chess team winning nationals. Because there's nothing else.
You take what you can get, or like the Indian dance team going off.
Yes. I mean that I had a short stint on our breakdancing team when I was depressed. Right, like you just gotta. And that's just because I love rap music. It's poetic. But I digress. So not having that was just incredibly tortured. So this year...
Just trying to picture you breakdancing right now, and it's hilarious.
Got the scars to prove it. So, hey, we had some fun on the rooftop in Chicago.
Yeah, that wasn't breakdancing.
I didn't rip my pants, but it was close. So this year, like that little twinkle you see in someone's eye who like experienced that, like it started, it was like the catalyst for that, right? That little twinkle. Or
Harvin. But
it ended up just being like like an accidental glare from like your light on your camera.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we were right there. And like, I think I told you this. I don't even remember when I told you this. It was either 6 months ago or yesterday. And it was like 12 points. 12 points for a season to lose to A&M by 3 points and a field goal. And by the way, we all were talking. We're on our group text. And I said, we are going to only win by 3 on that game, right? We lost by 3. I said we were overrated, but I had so much hope. And like there's a really dark place in my heart where I was like, we're going to go all the way. And I carried that torch.
Dark place.
Until the LSU game. There's an orange and blue place in my heart.
Yeah.
I carried that till the LSU game until they threw the shoe.
That is where it broke. Yeah, that's where it like...
team discipline.
Yep.
Discipline. Now, if you're up by 30 and you want to like tie a guy's shoelaces together to only rip his shoes off and then throw the shoe, then throw the damn shoe.
Yeah.
Right? Who cares? But like when you stop them on 3rd and 18 or no, what is it, like 3rd and whatever it was?
It was enough so that the personal foul got them the first down. I think it was like 9.
Yes,
it was like 8 or 9. Yeah.
But to do that on that play and that's your way of celebrating, that is discipline. That is character. Like that's all that is. And like you have to play with like a poise, like in those sporting events where like you have the sportsmanship and like own it, because throwing the shoe, like how many people celebrated throwing the shoe after you threw it, dude?
I mean, who throws a shoe?
Honestly.
It's just like I would hand the guy the shoe, but I'm not going to tie it for you, but I'm going to hand it back to you, right?
Like if you tie together shoelaces and throw them on the field, does that signify that somebody sells drugs at that yard line?
Like over the power line. Remember, we're from South Florida, right? Like
if you
Dade County 305, baby, Ricky Rose.
It's bath salts, but yeah, you're right. No, but I mean, the point's well taken, Matt, which is, like 12 points, if that's the delta cumulatively for the season, and if you had to pick Was it that we didn't score enough points, or that we let up too many points?
Well,
I think the answer is clear.
Everyone knows.
The answer is clear.
We let
up far too many points. So some restructuring is going on in the offseason. We got rid of our cornerbacks coach and our
safeties coach. But we kept the guy that hired both of those people because obviously he makes great decisions.
Yeah, and there was a lot of conversation about, were the calls not getting in fast enough? Was there too much oversight? I mean,
there's not even conversation. The defensive coordinator admits that no one knew what they were doing, which I thought was shocking to admit that in an interview. You fire your cornerbacks coach, you fire your safeties coach, right? You're the fucking leader, dude. Yeah. Like, if people aren't getting the plays, did take the 4, get out of Mulholland. But dude, you're the leader, and throughout an entire season, and I think I kept telling you guys this, they'll figure it out. Like, this is COVID year, they didn't get training camp, right? They'll figure it out throughout the season. To get to the Alabama game and still not have any clue what the play call is, the defensive coordinator needs to be fired, not the safeties coach and the linebackers coach. Dude, you're the leader. And should the leader always get fired?
So should the players be charged the opportunity cost of what wasn't earned?
Here we go.
Paid athletes?
Here we go.
Deduct it from the contract.
Make it, you buy it.
That show business, baby.
I was a businessman doing business things.
Yeah. But, okay, so now moving forward in Gator football, we've broken down the past, right? Okay, yeah. They should have won versus Texas A&M.
No question.
They went in lazy. They didn't show up. Like Matt famously says, did they even get off the bus
They did not get off the bus.
Okay.
Damn
and then we have the LSU game where you're caught up with it. We're good.
We're good.
Stop pulling on it.
Just tugging his heart. It's like a seatbelt.
Yeah.
Just get it.
Anywho. So so then you get the LSU game, right? One game's fine to show up. You didn't get off the bus. But it's not fine.
But wasn't LSU the week before shut out by someone like 32-0 the week before?
Yeah, no, LSU sucked all year. So you can't. First of all, you got to destroy LSU. But anyway, if you don't destroy them, look it up. So then you lose to LSU off some bullshit, right? The shoe throw.
We were watching that
game.
Should have
never been close to begin with.
Should have been in a situation.
Then you come to Alabama and you almost, you can. If your defense was marginally better, you would have beat Alabama, LSU, and Texas A&M. You would have been in the playoffs, right? So now moving forward, that was the shot, by the way. That was the shot for Gator football. You had Kyle Trask, who had experience. You had Kyle Pitts, who was fucking
going off.
I mean, he's going to be a top 5 pick.
Going off.
You had Tony, the zombie 4.3 running Percy Harvin-esque wide receiver, right? Then you had you had so many wide receivers. You had the transfer from Penn State. But now looking forward. Emory Jones, no Kyle Pitts. No Tony. Who's going to step up? Are we going into a dark place of Florida Gator football?
No, I think I'll kind of kick this off. So I think that what we need to really bank on, and it's a high risk, high reward move, is incoming leadership. Are you going to have a freshman or a redshirt freshman who's going to just take the mantle, run with it, own it, and really just crush things at whatever position that is, but also demonstrate team leadership? Because I think otherwise, if you have this group of people kind of hoping to be greater than the sum of their parts, it's not going to work. You're going to need executive leadership to kind of drive through here. And I think best case scenario is you get somebody who's young early on who says, maybe I'm just.
But who are you? You're talking about like a Tim Tebow type.
That's exactly
that doesn't come around.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, back to the original point, with all of the loss of weapons,
the
defense has to get like 40 times better.
It's not there.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not there.
You have the same defensive coordinator who obviously can't communicate. And now you're going to have the Gator football program in 5 years of darkness because we can't get our defense together.
Yeah.
Emory Jones is our quarterback, and we don't have any weapons.
Who did we lose on defense? Is it safe to say that defense will at least remain stagnant, like where it was?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it's safe to say we can give up 40 points a game.
Okay.
Dude. I think it's safe to say.
So just to close this out on LSU lost.
If there's no improvement, we still suck. Yeah, I think we can hold that line.
Fair. So LSU lost to Mississippi State by 10 last year. LSU lost to Mizzou by 4. LSU lost to Auburn 48-11.
Yeah, LSU sucked.
LSU lost to A&M 20-7.
Yeah.
They lost to Bama the week before us 55-17, and they beat us by 3. We went in
And then
cocky. We went in cocky. There was all
and-
the hype around Trask. He is the Heisman. And I agree, Trask had a great Heisman run. And my heart says he should have been the Heisman. But like, we went into that game cocky. LSU sucks. Defending national champs, they suck. We went in, and we did not get off the bus.
Nope. And so here are the top 10 Gators.
So moving forward, do you think we're going into a dark period?
Okay. So the way the dark periods work is it's a negative sloped line that eventually reaches like a valley, right? The base of the valley. So unfortunately, right now, like we are on that slant. We met our peak. We're at the tipping point. Malcolm Gladwell, you're welcome. Send me a book signed. We're going to go down. Now
Well, you got to submit that in the Eagle Scout.
So I think next year will still be like one of those years that we had, like the years we had after like 08, 09, maybe 10, whatever it was. No, beyond even that with national championships, where it's like, you know, we only lose 2 or 3 games, but we're not going to the national championship game. We're not even in the final 4, if you will. Pending changes, of course, which I do think there should be more of a playoff schedule, but we'll say that for a different podcast. Like, I think this year's going to be tough. I think we're going to win some big games. I think we'll still win a couple big games. I think Emory Jones will have his moments. But you're right, Sean. People, a collective group on offense and defense are both going to have to step up.
We did keep our defensive end Carter, which is a big win, actually.
Huge.
Because he wants to get, he's ingrained into this education vibe.
For $200,000 a year, the 4 of us could have a huge impact on the Florida Gators this year.
Guy wants to get an education. What an idiot.
So
But
here's
he could have gone to the NFL 2 years. To be honest, he's NFL worthy. He could have gone to the NFL 2 years ago. He could have gone to the NFL this year, and he's staying to get his complete degree, to get his education, to get his degree.
I love it. It might have been Leonard Fournette, actually. I saw an interview with him with LSU. No, he might have left early, but someone said, like, my mom said I had to get my degree.
I love that.
Zach Carter is the D lineman, dude.
And
So-
I love
It's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So here are the Gators going to the draft.
I don't think it's beautiful. Fucking get your money, dude. Go
Kyle-
back and get that.
You still can buy your mom a house.
Kyle
Not if
Pitts,
you get injured.
Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, Kyle Trask,
Wait, does he physically have
Trayvon Grimes, Kyrie Campbell,
These are all the people left.
We're still on.
Marco
Are you
Wilson,
listening to this?
Sean Davis,
Bye.
We lost, dude.
Brett
we're gonna
Hagee,
suck, dude.
Brett
we're gonna
Hagee,
suck.
Stone Forsyth,
We lost Sean Davis.
Evan
we lost-
McPherson. I was like, those are our top 10
we
at
lost
least.
our kicker too.
It's gonna be rough. I think Matt's right. Downslope here.
Oh, he went to the Chiefs, right? Last year, 2 years ago? Our kicker? Is anyone on the Chiefs?
No, Evan McPherson. We just finished.
Oh, the new kicker.
Yeah, the new guy.
But the guy from 2 years ago went to the Chiefs.
the Chiefs.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
No,
Bears.
absolutely not.
Who's the kicker for the Bears, dude?
No, Eddie Pinheiro. You're
Pinheiro's
thinking
the
of.
Bears.
No,
No.
that's an FSU guy. You're thinking of
Pinheiro's FSU.
No,
Yeah.
Casey.
no Eddie Pinheiro's UF.
Chiefs.
I'm
UF,
thinking
yeah.
of
No, I'm
who's that
telling you,
other
our
idiot?
kicker went to the Chiefs. He was in the Super Bowl.
Who's the FSU guy that had the brother then afterwards?
I don't know.
Who cares?
I don't follow that
FSU,
team.
Who gives a
I
fuck?
don't follow that team.
Right? No, you're wrong. Kansas City has Ryan Suckup.
No, the name's
That's a terrible name.
escaping me.
So
He's wrong.
I guess the vibe here is
Eddie-
Tommy Townsend.
Tommy.
That's a punter.
Okay, well, kicker punter. Sports ball, Mike. Mike, defend me here.
Yeah,
Tommy Townsend plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, he's a punter.
That's true.
And he was 2 years ago.
He's excellent.
Yeah, okay. Punter.
Well,
Apologies.
He wasn't very good in this.
He's a
Super Bowl.
placeholder for the kicker.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but he's a
being-
punter and he wasn't very good
Point
in the
being,
Super Bowl.
what that list you just heard is largely offensive weapons. So you're diluting the ability to outscore people, which is borderline
you
what
need
got
to
us
do.
our most
Yeah.
recent record.
That's how you
Hammer's
win.
dead, by the way.
And now
Everyone,
we're
when you're looking, look straight away. At this.
and now we're
That one died.
Yeah,
Okay.
and now we're full
we can
boat
plug it in.
back to our roots, which is like strong powerhouse defense.
No,
but we don't have it. But we don't have it.
You have a second battery, though, right?
it goes all blurry for some reason.
One's like uranium and one's an actual.
This is a
lithium.
Yeah, this is a professional podcast.
One's a battery, the other's a potato with a paper clip.
It's a lemon, Mike. It was a
It's
lemon.
a lemon, dude.
Enough to blow up a house and be a serial killer.
So the question is, do we travel to Gainesville in 2021 to go to a game? I think yes.
Well, obviously.
yeah. I mean, like,
Dude, I'm so itching after COVID to go to a UF. Dude, I had so much fun going to the, where was that? UF Tennessee.
That
2 years ago. That was great.
yeah, you have to see.
So much fun. We got to go back. Have you been back as of 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I was at a Tennessee game 2 years ago, I believe.
No, we were there. You would have seen us.
Oh, the year before, 3 years maybe.
Jesus Christ.
No, because it's every other year.
You ever go back to?
Wait, Matt, you guys were in Gainesville like 2 years ago?
I was doing recruiting for the company I work for.
I think Matt had a weird like in and out that weekend.
I was there the week before the game, and then I left.
That's what it was.
Yeah, because I was traveling. This is when I was traveling.
Yeah, we
every
came
week
in
for
on
work. I was like,
Thursday.
I want to go actually like see my girlfriend at the time. Not both girlfriends, just one.
Now they say a cheater always a cheater, dude. Now dispel that into the microphone.
Yeah, that's a good dispel. So why I would say a cheater is always a cheater
Till he meets the one.
until you meet the one. I mean, hands down, right? Like I have zero interest in that right now.
Yeah.
Opportunities that present themselves. Had conversations with my wife
I love
about
this.
them, and I'm sure. And like I married up, she's probably had far more opportunities than me. But that's you just reach that level where it's like, I mean, like I had my run, if you will, and
You can offer me nothing.
I mean, it's like not only will like I ruin your life, but like if we do this, like my wife will also kill you, and then ruin both our lives. So stop. Yeah, you're an imbecile.
Do you ever go back to Gainesville and think, "Damn, I should"? The nostalgia gets back at you, and you're just like, "God, I could live here."
No, I still have individuals who were like my same class, who are still in school at Gainesville. Wait,
You do get into that
met
that
Mr.
whirlpool.
Rich,
yeah, Richie Rich.
you met Rich. We talked about abortion.
Oh yeah. I like to troll people when it comes. Let's break this down. I like to troll people when it comes to abortion. Clip it. Abortion. Is it right? Because people like feel very strongly, and I don't care either way. But I do like to like needle people. So what I like to do is use this scenario. Your wife is having a baby. They say the only way to save what you can only save one or the other. One will die.
You've used this on me at a bar while we were both drinking old fashioned.
The Sparrow.
in Chicago.
I remember.
Yeah.
Sparrow.
Yeah.
And so people always get angry because I always say I would save the baby over the wife. And they're like, no, you can have a new baby. And I know that, but I want them to get angry. So I say that.
Hold on, there was a caveat.
And I would do it.
Adam said that the child is Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
That's the
That is
caveat.
That is
Right.
the
You
caveat.
know that ahead of time.
Yeah, and you know that ahead of time.
Somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Mike, what does that say about our
Mike, would you
psychiatry?
kill your wife or the child?
As a serial killer, would you kill Tim Tebow?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to let discretion be the better part of the color.
He's not going there. That's the political way of saying I'm not going there.
Just explain to me this. How
think,
are you better than Nancy Pelosi?
Huh? Well, to
Just
quote,
kidding.
What's his name? Kenny Rogers.
Schumer.
You
To
have to,
Or
you have to
McConnell.
Kenny Rogers.
know when to hold him.
Know when to fold 'em.
Know when to walk away.
Know when to cry. Is it cry?
No,
What is
no.
it?
Fight.
Know
No,
when
no.
to run is the end of it. Yeah.
Maybe I just want to cry.
Know when to cry.
Men are allowed to be emotional.
You can cry and run.
Men can cry too, Mr. Lebowski. Fucking A, man.
So here's the one piece. Here's the one piece of that hypothetical that doesn't make sense. Why are you making the decision to save either your wife or the child? Like what's
Because
happened?
the doctor comes. Because it's funny to bring up in bars and watch people's heads explode. When I just spit something out of my mouth right there.
Well, here's the, and I asked that because with just given the kind of artificial choice that you articulated, I don't have enough information because it could go either way.
The information is the doctor comes to you and says, your wife is giving birth. We can save one or the other. Who do you want to go with?
And so my question would be, why are they not asking her?
Well, she would always choose the baby.
Yep. I mean, it's a tough subject because I'm about to have a kid,
But
right?
you see,
So-
what I'm getting at is also there's a legal question here that has to do with capacity, right? Decision-making capacity.
100%.
So that's the other. Those are the other variables that I need. Like,
Is there-
why is the decision falling to me? Because
Because
I am,
because it's a hypothetical bar question to get people angry. That's the
but
only
you haven't
reason.
had anybody answer it like this before. So so if indeed and the distinction has to be wife versus girlfriend because
Wife. She's your wife.
So
Makes
okay,
it-
so in that
makes
case,
it
I
harder.
do fall within the sequence of decision makers if she's incapacitated. So now the question is, why is she incapacitated?
What if
Why
she's
they have-
named somebody else as her surrogate decision maker? That doesn't matter
No,
to you.
it's it's surrogate decision maker for what? And you'll designate a surrogate decision maker for a limited period of time for a specific type of decision.
But based on how you answer the question determines if Adam's able to take you home, whether he uses protection or not.
So look,
Well,
it's a great point. But Sean, has this ever in any study come up, or would any doctor ever decide this for anyone?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't.
There's never been a birth where one or the other could live. I feel like that's happened many times.
I think what usually ends up happening is the intention and the effort is to save both. And there's a moment where you
Obviously.
continuously attempt to save both until maybe one doesn't make it. But I can't think of scenarios in today's world or under the world in which I trained where the option is give up on one to save the other. It's full boat, level 10, save both until proven otherwise.
And if they both die, then that's just that.
Yeah.
That seems lame to me. I'm not gonna lie.
We can talk about how that feels for $400 an hour.
Speaking of which, Mike, you've now made almost $800 at the 2-hour mark.
That'll be $10,000.
And we've lost.
And we've lost
Collectively
money.
$800 in 2 hours.
Anyway, I didn't mean to. Well, yeah, that was on the notes, right?
No.
Abortion.
Where are we?
I think I covered that abortion note
This
that
is
I
a
didn't
dream
have.
within a dream.
Well, we wanted to talk
No,
about
the
your
abortion-
company,
the
but
topic
maybe
of
not.
abortion was contained within the penumbras of the different
Yeah.
topics.
Well, no one answered the question. By the way,
Well, I did answer the question.
if my wife was giving birth, just to trigger, if my wife was giving birth and the doctor, Sean, I wish it was Sean.
It wouldn't be
'cause
me.
Just so I could see the shock on his face.
Make me sweat.
Sean comes up to me. Hey, man, we got to save your wife or the baby. I choose the baby. I'm sorry. I just got to go with that. Because it will never be the same afterwards, Sean. She'll be like, why'd you choose me?
Well, first of all, don't blame me for forcing
Damn
this
it,
decision.
Sean. Why'd you make me
upon
make this
no.
decision?
This is I can't go with that answer because you're doing two things there. You're fortune telling and you're mind reading, which are like two of the archetypal unhelpful thinking styles. So
True,
Unhelpful
very true.
thinking
That's why I
styles.
don't-
That's how
why
I
in
get
my
in trouble
opinion-
with women. I try and think
In
for
my
them.
opinion, it's a false choice and there's no right answer.
No, there is no right. I will say this just so I can cover myself for when
There's no
I
right
get
answer,
fired
but it's not
later.
for the reason that
There
you
is no right answer.
There's no right answer, but it's for a different reason.
But I'd save my wife. I would save the baby. Because it's Tim Tebow, Sean.
And the Gators need a quarterback.
And the Gators need a QB.
We really do. Really.
But we do in 18 years.
What did
By the
Henry-
way, fun fact, Matt.
here's the
Matt, fun
thing,
fact. Well, I want to get Matt's take on this. Fun fact, Tim Tebow was supposed to be aborted, and then they changed their mind. That's where this all came up. Go ahead.
Wait, I think you were talking about Kanye. I think you heard something.
Both
about Kanye.
memorable saves.
I did not know. I had not heard that story.
You were going to say something before I interrupted you, though.
Me.
No, Matt.
I can't feel my face. I have no idea what you're saying.
When I'm with you.
So Mike, you've had about 2 hours with each of us now, not to mention your historical relationships with all of us. Diagnose
20
us.
years collectively with all of us.
Diagnose us. What
wrong
condition
with that?
does each of us have?
Like personas.
Not for
And why
free.
should Adam be institutionalized?
So actually, the Florida Gators flag is actually an unfurled straitjacket, and there's a linchpin that we pull out, and then it just snaps into place and just like cocoon wraps at him. Easy
What if this
transport
entire
off to the board.
podcast was actually like a what's the movie I'm thinking of? A Shutter Island sort of situation
wow.
for Adam. Are you healthy?
No, this
Do you remember?
this podcast is like Adam's version of his OnlyFans.
Oh my god!
Mike, you haven't diagnosed.
Yeah, you haven't paid me yet.
I've paid you in nitro and prosecco.
Okay, I'm gonna need a lot more nitro and Prosecco.
Well, we drank 2.5 gallons of nitro in like 24 hours.
No, I mean, I guess what I'm saying in kind of a humorous way is like I need a lot more information. You know,
I think it's also you don't like shit
A
where
lot
you
more
eat, right? Like you're not
different
gonna. Would you like? Do you separate like church and state when it comes to like personifying clients versus friends? Or I mean, I know you do it subconsciously or consciously. But
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like you don't treat friends and family members for a reason, like you just don't. And it's and part of it in psychiatry is the treating doctor is supposed to be like kind of a blank slate, because one of the tools
thanks. I'm like caught in here.
But because one of the tools that you use as a psychiatrist is the projection that the other person
Light limited.
has of pretty much their own like anxieties and biases and insecurities onto you, the blank slate of the provider. So that's why like you don't have that dimension when you're treating a friend or family member.
Well, especially with the mind, right? Like if I get shot, like Sean might help me, right? But like you don't have to tell me.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Obviously, and by that I mean like actually like sew me up. Don't just be like, Matt, tell me how you feel with this bullet in your chest.
Well, yeah. I mean, it also that's an emergent situation, right? I mean, it's consider priorities here. Like, what's the higher priority? Stopping the bleeding or adhering rigidly to some ethical guideline?
Yeah, I mean, I treat my life like I action things in order of triage. It's just
yeah. I mean, I think risk management is.
You don't think you could diagnose me with initially right now, or Matt, or Sean?
Too complex.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you're
too complex.
You're too advanced.
You've known Matt since the Cub Scouts. You couldn't diagnose him.
You're the holographic Pokemon
That's
card we
even
can't
more
figure out.
complex. Too advanced.
Too advanced. So I'm curious. So
We're not a serial
need
killer
to-
in prison.
so what? So Matt's.
I would need to enter into quantum superstate armbruster where I'm in like two places at once to be able to solve that riddle.
Not possible.
And that goes beyond roleplay. Okay, so talking about roleplay.
Speaking of,
Oh man, that didn't go how I wanted it to. I wanted to get diagnosed for free.
Pay the man.
If you have to ask, you can't
Pay the man.
afford it.
it's like crowdsourcing his medical care.
Yeah, so that was really the whole purpose of the first 18 episodes was to get to episode 19 and get free therapy.
I feel like that's the centennial episode 100.
Yeah,
Got it.
You got to
It'll
earn
happen.
it. This isn't
It'll happen.
FEMA.
Alex Jones is 99. 100 is psychoanalyze Adam.
Let me tell you something, Joe. I got the documents.
I'm just a humble water filter merchant.
I remember that. Animal.
Or vitamins, or I think he sold both.
Yeah, both.
And he sold a milkshake that had like bone or
Bone
like
broth.
bird bones in it or something that
Dino bones.
made dino bones.
Dino
Did he
bones.
just like scoop up dirt in the desert and was like, what's in this? My milkshake has cactus fragments.
I'll tell you something, Joe. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and damn right, it's better than yours. Did we want to go around and talk about this concoction of a drink we have, which was supposed to be special, which turned out to be not special?
It's kind of. I can teach you.
And just two.
Sure.
two
I can teach you,
ingredients.
but I'd have to charge.
Okay, I did want to talk about the grid.
Like the
Yeah,
grid.
I know I'm going like 4 hours back in this podcast, but at this point, who cares?
We all have incredible stamina. You can talk to my wife. What?
The grid.
The toilets in
the
this
Texas
house,
grid.
The toilets in this house are directly connected to the grid and directly inject human waste into the power grid.
Which is entirely nitro energy.
That's
So if anything, it's enhancing.
but Matt
Why
has
is
an
Texas?
NDA on
Why
that.
does Texas have its own grid, Matt? Explain.
I mean, I have because it's Texas, man. Like it's Texas, man. You're out of your league.
Take the two.
So I was unaware of this, even being in like the grid and having climbed like hundreds of wind turbines in Texas as a forensic engineer years ago, a decade ago, prior to graduation. But it was like we have our own energy grid. There's like the West U.S., there's the East U.S., and then there's Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so to first of all, to learn that while I was like literally dressed in my ski clothes, taking a nap on the sofa, and our home is 45 degrees. I'm like, wait a second. So is this Texas's fault? Is this ERCOT's fault? There's like conspiracies theories going around that because Texas.
What's the ERCOT?
ERCOT is well, we're all familiar with EPCOT, being from Florida. It's the Texas.
Well, yeah, that's how UFC plays football, dude,
So
with Mickey Mouse ears on their helmets.
All of Texas's energy comes from the EPCOT roller coaster ball.
So go to Epcot. Help power.
Please go to EPCOT so I can have a warm house.
No, seriously, what's ERCOT?
So ERCOT is like the Energy Commission. Well, I don't know what the actual acronym stands for. I should. But here's what's important about ERCOT. Like ERCOT is the supplier of the energy, but who I pay my electric bill to is Centerpoint Energy. So they own the transmission lines and the infrastructure. What is it? Electric Reliability Council of Texas. It is not
so much.
reliable
Not so
in a
much.
blizzard. Right. Yeah. They're going to be like renaming themselves. They're already rebranding, right? Just
To EPCOT.
so I pay my my electric bill to the individuals who own the transmission lines and the distribution of that power. They're allotted a certain amount of energy based off the Texas only grid. What's interesting is I think it's 20 up to even 30% of all of Texas's energy comes from wind power. I am a huge proponent of clean energy. Despite working in like the oil and gas sector, I think it's incredibly important. Again, I used to work on these wind turbines, and a lot of those shut down because what happens is ice that will freeze on those blades, and the hub is what they call the hub. The central of the wind turbine is like 100 meters up, plus another 90-foot blade. So ice will freeze on the blades, and then it will throw. First of all, it'll be off kilter and it could damage it, or it will throw a chart of ice off, and then it'll kill some farmer's cow or something, or destroy an oil well.
More importantly, destroy an oil well.
So all of those shut down.
But what about the cow?
And then
Anyway, moving
when
on.
it comes to demand, everyone's home is 45 degrees. So people are cranking their heat. There's a lot more energy demand. So demand is like skyrocketing. Supply is drastically limited. You can do a simple XY axis comparison, hence rolling blackouts. So, and we actually would buy our energy from Mexico, but the wall got in the way.
Whoa.
We'll make it big.
So we were actually trying to like source energy from the east and the west as well. But that storm, that polar vortex, whatever they're calling these storms these days, like, is it still La Nina for a winter storm, but a masculine form? Why is a hurricane masculine and a winter storm feminine? Anyways, I digress. So the storm's going across the U.S. and
So
so,
it's just called El Nino, like the warm weather, warm water current
but
phenomenon.
La Nina is the winter side of that.
I guess
I know, I might have just made that up. So the storm's rolling across the U.S. and the West and the East are like, hey, dude, we can't give you Texas, Lone Star State. We can't give you any extra power because we're doing rolling blackouts.
By the way, we're not connected.
Well, right. So, and all these are already all these like generators, which are just locomotive diesel engines, are frozen because they're not using Pump 1. So,
Well, that just revealed where you work, dude.
no, we're owned by the Chinese. Anyway,
Who's owned by the Chinese?
America.
the U.S. So, anyways, we didn't have any energy, and it was cold. So, but we still have our own grid. And you talk about like Texas seceding from the union, or even like California seceding from the union. But I think when it comes into the energy infrastructure, it's even like more unique with regards to that. So it's pretty fascinating. It was cold, and we had to wear jackets in the house.
So should Texas stop with their own grid? Is my main question.
No, because it's
What
Texas.
do you mean, dude?
I mean,
There's a problem. There's a problem in the state.
it was
Let's give it to Joe Biden. He'll figure it out.
First of all, the conspiracy theories are it's entirely Joe Biden's fault.
Sunny Punch is now about politics. It's in the description.
Adam says with a Trump voice.
Whoa.
So we survived. Everything's fine. And
Well, some survived. Some died.
yeah, some didn't.
died.
So here's a public service announcement for all the 16 to 18-year-olds that listen to the podcast.
In Chicago.
If you're really cold in Chicago, and like when I lived in Wicker Park, we had a fire pit on the rooftop, a couple of them actually. And do not bring those fire pits into your home if you lose power.
Carbon.
They release carbon monoxide. We've all seen movies that involve the mafia, and it's like going and sitting in your car in the garage with it running to heat, yourself or your family. And
That's not the mafia. That's suicide.
okay, well, thank you. Shrink. So that actually,
In my professional opinion.
so that actually happened here in Texas, where families were so cold they went and tried to warm up in their vehicles and did not open their garages, and they died. Or even bringing in a propane fire pit into the house. Some houses burnt down. Others, families, the whole family was lost. None of them woke up. The silent killer, if you will, just like uranium-234. So just PSA for everybody there: do not do that. Put on more clothes.
Sunday Punch about public safety, well-being,
It's really all we're about.
Saving lives
saving lives.
in a microphone.
So there was, you mentioned that 20% of a ballpark of Texas's energy comes from
we
wind,
have like
more or less
18 devices here that could answer this question in 10 seconds.
I'd rather just debate it.
But
No.
loosely,
we can do it over. I would
Loosely
say
that
I'm going to guess
number.
28%. Give me a number.
30.
15.
A number for what now?
Okay. So
You're out.
how much
Kilowatt.
Texas energy
Because what I'm interested in
is
is,
from wind?
what is the blend here? If is it wind plus coal plus
Holy shit.
How much?
24.8%. I love the extra decimal point.
24.8%?
24.
Very exact.
And ERCOT, but for
Yeah,
energy
okay.
in Texas, report on generating capacity listed the top sources of power in the state. Natural gas is 51%, wind is 24.8%, coal is 13.4%.
How do they determine that? Is that like kilowattage
Math.
or is that like revenue? Like how do they 24% of what? Like what is it?
I'll send you
the.
the HBR article.
Algebra.
Algebra.
Algebra arithmetic.
Okay, that's interesting.
So we're all learning something.
But that's a valid question, right? When you say 24.8% of what? Like
I would assume it's kilowatt usage, not production. Maybe it's even production, but then maybe we sell it to the east and west and we sell it to Mexico.
So you're into this. I want to talk about your company. I want to talk about.
Tell us about the algae. Just tell
Can
us
we
about
talk
the
about
algae.
your company or no? It's off limits. Let's move on.
No, it's it was a top 5 Fortune 500 company.
You're not going to say it on the.
It is ExxonMobil.
Thank you.
I'm employed by the ExxonMobil Corporation. I am not involved with the natural gas or anything like that. So I'm, as I said earlier in the podcast, for those of you who have made it this far,
It'll be a clip, dude. This is the ExxonMobil clip.
Okay, so for those of you who made it this far, incredible stamina. But for those of you
Yeah,
who
just
haven't,
a quick update. We're at 2 hours and 17 minutes.
wow.
Welcome, Chris.
The only
We
one
have
left.
2 people that listen every single time.
Okay.
Adam's mom.
Yeah, and my mom. Yeah, she'll listen to the entire thing.
So I know we have like a whole global team that's focused on clean energy. That's not my forte right now. I'm not focused on dirty energy, but right now I'm focused on the oil aspect, the finished product that goes in your automotive vehicle or in your commercial vehicle or in your industrial application. That's my focus.
Okay.
So, and like one of our top focuses when it comes to our business development analysis and handling these accounts is like how to teach you to use less of our product, right? Because you gain a lot of efficiencies with a business, especially on the industrial side. It's like, okay, well, I'm changing my oil. I could talk to you all about vehicles, but living in Chicago, we've had this conversation and it's been frustrating. This young man right here, recent owner of a Mercedes vehicle, which by the way are factory filled with a mobile product that's rebranded Mercedes. He could go
Not just a Mercedes vehicle.
an AMG Mercedes vehicle, right? So like you could go get your oil changed every, let's just say 5,000 miles, right? But with certain products, you may only need to get it changed every 20,000 miles.
Wait. So let's consider what the rationale is for changing it every 5 or 10,000, because I'm sure there's a scientific reason, but then there's also a risk management reason that might come to a completely different conclusion. If it costs like $10 to change your oil, but it's rated for like 100 million miles or whatever, why would you not just go ahead and change it after
100 million miles, Matt.
I mean,
So it's rated.
That sounds
to
like a
drive-
great
you can
commercial.
Drive from
my car has 100 million miles.
And it's run off algae.
from the Earth to the sun and back.
Answer the
100
question,
million
man.
times.
These are the tough questions.
So yeah, so if it costs $10 and it's 100 million miles, I'm pretty sure that's a strong cost benefit analysis
Yeah.
in your favor.
And that's what
Otherwise-
I'm saying. Like, because why not do it if it knocks your risk of some engine related malfunction or some oil related malfunction from 1% down to 0.1%. Why not?
So yeah, and a couple things. So usually a vehicle, your personal vehicle, especially for those of you who are just now learning to drive, our 16-year-old audience, like
16 to 18.
16 to 18, or becoming expert drifters at 18. Yeah, like your vehicle usually represents your second largest investment behind your home, and usually that's after college. Obviously, not 18 unless you got daddy's money.
Daddy.
So,
oh Jesus Christ!
Why is that daddy's money?
or your mother's or mommy's money.
Come on,
or
man.
stepmommy's
Come on, it's
money.
2021.
Yeah, I know. Forgive me.
God, what if it's Zer's money?
Yeah, or you just won the lottery.
It's current year, Matt.
It's current year evergreen content.
It's not Tony. Yeah, it's not Tony. God
So-
damn it! Let me redo that line. Come on, man. It's current year, dude.
Current year.
We've been living off algae for 30 years now.
I'm living in 2050.
It's current year, Matt.
Yeah, I need another algae injection.
So what is the biggest existential threat to Exxon right now?
Ooh,
Or its competitors, people in that same industry?
I honestly do not think it's clean energy. I
don't
really
think so?
don't. No. With an enterprise resources that these huge like energy companies have, like they will pivot and they will be successful. Like it will happen. Now I do think there will be like continued consolidation. I think recently there was an article about how apparently Chevron and Exxon were talking about a merger. Right? Look at the mergers that happened like in the 90s between Exxon and Mobil. Right? Like when they did break up Standard Oil. There will be significant consolidation in that, and as there are in like a ton of industries right now going on anyway. So you look at the Great Recession of like 2008 and 2009, and you saw huge like merging and converging and compression in like spaces, whether it be tech or whatever. The same thing's going to happen after this.
Can I break down Sean's question a little bit more? Because is it the biggest threat to the value of Exxon stock, or the biggest threat to the job security of Exxon's employees? Because those would have maybe two very different answers.
I would use more accounting principles on this. And what I'm thinking of specifically is return on equity, return on assets, these kinds of things more than job security. So how well are they doing with the resources at their disposal? Because an existential threat would, in theory, jostle that to the point where they're not getting return on their assets. They're not getting return on invested equity, these kinds of things.
So I believe this year was, and you all can Google the articles. I haven't dove into them, but I believe this year was the first year that like we reported losses since the merger.
Well, here's
in the tune of like $1 billion.
Not
like,
insubstantial.
Can I throw in my 2 cents before Matt tanks the stock?
XOM, short it, short options.
No, it's going up, baby. It's a $65 stock by the end of the year. Watch.
Yeah, Matt literally. By the way, quick sidebar. Matt literally has XOM stock on his phone right now.
I pulled it up.
The house is just made from Exxon stock.
The trusses are compressed.
Now go ahead, Mike. Go
watching
ahead.
the video. What was I going to ask? Okay. What if it's like? I mean, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on here for a second. And
block the aliens, block the voices.
Here's another thing I know, like F all about. What if it's like maybe the biggest threat to it would be AI, in that you have an interface or a synergy between humans and artificial intelligence that like ramps up innovation exponentially, so that your hardware assets or whatever are obsolete like way they're obsolete way sooner than they should. So you've made this massive capital investment thinking, this is going to get us, this is going to remain profitable for 50 years, except it's obsolete 5 years later because somebody built a better mousetrap.
So I would say though, when it comes to these huge like producers in that space, like we all work together. And I would say we're at the leading edge of that technology. Now, will there be individuals that fragment aspects of that market? Of course. And that's when they get acquired. And that's when we pay them an EBITDA of 20x for their technology and take them over. But when
but Reddit exists.
and maybe Reddit will be
Reddit
will be Exxon's downfall.
Yeah.
But you bring up a good question when it comes to employees. So we just went through, and this is all publicly available information, like significant layoffs on a global scale. And there may even be more to come.
Was one of those the whistleblowers?
The whistleblowers.
Remember the whistleblower? for Exxon.
No.
He brought up how the ranking system wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that article popped up, and like actually I had a colleague.
That was on the Wall Street Journal, by the way.
Yeah, I had a colleague share that with me. By the way, I was like, hey, look, like,
Can you explain the backstory of that?
Yeah, I can shed some light on how our rating and ranking system works. And I've been in roles where I have to rate and rank people, and I've been in all my roles. I've been ranked and rated, and I.
that sounded bad from a certain angle at a certain speed.
In all my roles.
Sorry, I coughed because I have no idea why I actually laughed. It's like, all my roles I've been ranked and railed.
I mean,
Dirk, Muhammad Jihad. Wow, he is good. Anyway, go ahead.
So I believe the system truly rewards by default like the top performers, right? Like, but it definitely like.
How does the ranking work though?
Okay, so it's originally, now it's changed over time. So you're grouped with your peers who are a similar classification level, and who have maybe like what we would say like similar responsibility as you. Now maybe in a different business unit, but have similar responsibility. And there's a grouping of those individuals, and it's just simply a bell curve, right?
Yeah.
Like you're ranked based off your performance, and you're either top. It's changed over time, like top third, middle third, bottom third. Now it's like top fifth, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5.
Eventually it'll be an eighth.
Yeah, and they might even like slice and dice it even more.
If I got ranked in like the bottom fifth and they were going to fire me, I'd probably start my whatever defense with like, if a banana is bruised, you don't throw away the banana, and then blah 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 blah.
You put it in a smoothie. So that's how that works, and then based off that, like your rank, and that has implications on your potential, your salary. Now this year was a very unique year. We learned that.
Now, just to hit on that point,
Yeah.
the Wall Street Journal article said that.
Oh yeah.
That guy's ranking was very high until he spoke out at a company meeting, and then after that meeting, his rank completely tanked.
So anyone who has worked with me within ExxonMobil knows I'm incredibly outspoken. Even most recently, as of 2 days ago, I presented to hundreds of people, and I finished my 2-minute speech with an Eminem quote.
Obviously.
But I think that's very important, especially with some of these large corporations and enterprise companies. Like you need to be outspoken.
Can I ask you a question? This guy that spoke out at a meeting, did he do something that was out of character for him? Like, in other words, was he usually like?
That's a good point.
Soft spoken? Was he not one to, I guess, upend the apple cart? And then he did that, and now people had to adjust their, mental avatar of who he is as a person characterologically, and that affected his ratings.
I mean, of our 80,000 employees, I have no idea who this person is at all. Now, could he have a supervisor who was a little butthurt, and the individual spoke out, and they maybe approached it in a malicious manner? Maybe. I have no clue, right? But that's corporate America. That's even small business America. That's anywhere in the world, yeah, right? Yeah. So potentially, and
I mean, people, the vast majority of people are thinking emotionally all the time, and then they kind of rationalize post hoc.
To the opposite point, other companies don't have this bell curve ranking system, though. It's just political.
Oh, wait,
right?
It's a bell curve? How do you norm that?
I don't know.
How do you create the bell curve?
And I don't, when you say like whistleblower, like that means like they're exposing what would be like an illicit or illegal activity. And I don't see it as an illicit or illegal activity. But what is interesting is the rating and ranking system was originally created by Enron, and we know where they ended.
Let's consider this. So, I mean, fact check me on this, but if you have a bell curve, if you're fitting a curve to a sample, you're considering something that is a measurable quantity. Like, it's not just subjective, because otherwise you're going to end up with like a bimodal distribution and all that stuff. So, like, I think there's another variable here, because if indeed this ranking system is that objective that you can fit a bell curve to it, then I'm wondering, did he fuck up something else? And is this a correlation versus causation situation? Like he spoke out at a meeting, and then he, shot himself in the foot some other way, and now he's just like editorializing and smash cutting to I spoke at a meeting, and therefore my ratings went down, which is like the logic of a 2-year-old.
So I would say this individual. So if this individual, let's say this individual was terminated recently, or had an involuntary separation from the company, given like the extremely constrained COVID environment that we've experienced in this sector, the way that, from what I understand, I was not part of any of these discussions. Obviously, I didn't even I was on a special project. I didn't have any employees reporting to me. I didn't have to make any of these tough decisions on who at this time to get rid of. I've had to make those decisions before, but not recently. They looked at an individual's performance historically with the company. So this individual who maybe spoke up during some meeting, if they were separated, and again, this is all part of this article, like they had to have been the bottom 20% or 10%, whatever the number is with the corporation. And like that would be like throughout that individual's career. It's like they look at the trends. Let's say the person was with the company for 5 years or maybe even 10 years and had 4 different managers. They looked at those trends. Like there's not going to be something that's like an outlier where it's just one manager and that person didn't get along that made that decision for the termination. It's going to be a trend line saying like, okay, in this role, this person did not perform exceptionally. In this role, this person did not perform exceptionally. In this role, they didn't perform exceptionally. Oh, and they spoke up at a meeting. So that's the final straw. Maybe. I've never seen that within my career there. So. But to get the title of a whistleblower or something like that, like you think Watergate, right? Like, but to get a whistleblower because ExxonMobil has a ranking system.
I don't think Watergate was a whistleblower situation.
But you believe in the system though.
And the system has evolved since I've been there. But yes, I believe that you have to have some system to identify exceptional and subpar performance with any business, and you want to surround yourself with the top talent to like progress your business objectives and business goals.
I mean, you have to like kind of continually
trim the fat.
You have to, there is like sort of a barracks inspection you have to perform on your, just speaking as a small business person, like you do kind of have to like, you have to measure performance and you have to identify weak spots and work on those weak spots
and sometimes that results in a termination with someone who earns the title as a whistleblower. So,
yeah. I think the positives of it are evident. Like, let's relate this back to sports. The Redskins, they had a
Washington football team.
Yeah, exactly. The Redskins had a whistleblower come in and was talking about sexual harassment within the organization.
Yeah,
at higher ups, right? So the Redskins had a whistleblower, and then they adjusted. They had to, even if they didn't want to.
I feel like the title of whistleblower should be applied post hoc once you've identified that there is a clear concern about a moral or ethical transgression versus I don't agree with the assessment that I received or that was built into.
No. The difference here would be, and the conspiracy theory in the Wall Street Journal was he had high performance. Then he said, hey, I don't think we should be doing this, this, and that, like as in a public forum. And then after that, that's when they said,
okay,
no, you just got pinged. You fucking get fired.
No, you know how I know that's bullshit? Here's how I know that's bullshit. Employees have way more leverage over their bosses than they think. Firing somebody is hard, not like just because of the emotional maybe angle of it, which is of varying importance to any given boss, but there's a practical side too, which is that employee's there for a reason. If you fire them, you're probably going to have to replace them, which sucks, which is time consuming and costs money in terms of opportunity costs and maybe like literal costs if you have to onboard someone. So like, it's kind of almost like a what's good for the goose is good for the gander situation. And why would, if this person voiced, this has nothing to do with whether his concerns were genuine or well-meaning, but why would why would Exxon do something nefarious? Like, even if they thought they could profit in the short term, it's in their interest to not like F around in that regard. I mean, I'm not even giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm just taking, I'm kind of doing the paleontologist thing where you get like a little knuckle bone of information and then you reconstruct the rest of the Tyrannosaur from that.
No, I get it. Yeah.
And
Her booty ain't
so-
big as Jurassic. I got it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it's a little bit of foot in the mouth situation with why would Exxon do something nefarious? And this is not to, sully anyone's good name or anything.
I'm not suggesting they did anything nefarious.
On the tail end of somebody mentioning Enron, I guess, which did a lot of things nefarious, turns out. So no, I think it's bullshit. It's a little too on the nose. And that's kind of one of my red flags for when.
Yeah, so you think Wall Street Journal is fake news?
That's kind of one of my red flags for when a story is fake news.
Wall Street Journal is fake news.
A little too auspicious for this guy. Like,
I would just like to confirm that you think Wall Street Journal is fake news.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, I think this story is fake news.
Clip it.
Okay. I think the story is
Okay.
Again, I haven't read the story. I'm going purely off of what you guys are saying, but purely off of what you guys are saying is just not passing muster in my mind.
We're missing the other half of the story. I agree, and it
doesn't pass in my mind either. I mean, dude, disgruntled employees happen all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
so.
Yeah.
Oh, I spoke out of it. This is why.
Yeah,
that's your side.
Every disgruntled ex-employee has a reason, has a perfectly logical sounding explanation.
Yeah, like the women at the Washington Redskins. There was like, hey, you should show your tits more, right? That was their side.
Adam's trolling us now.
Cleavage.
So, yeah.
That was their side.
Not touching it.
If you're on the opposite side and you're seeing it, I mean, obviously, hello.
You have to.
If you're the Washington Redskins, like, let me see some, right, Sean?
I was going to recycle the Kenny Rogers quote as an outro, but that's showbiz, baby.
That's showbiz, baby. That's what I would have told the Redskins employees.
Also, the employee doesn't get.
No,
to
I mean,
decide.
I was going to say no. That's not showbiz. Like me pausing awkwardly was showbiz.
Oh, okay.
No, that's
not telling the girls to wear their blouses a little bit undone. Is not
God, that's horrible.
Showbiz is not.
That's
sexual
horrible.
I'm telling you what the Redskins said.
No,
That's horrible.
dude.
Don't kill the messenger. I'm the one. I'm the one relaying the information, right, Sean?
That's apples to oranges, right?
Talk about the Redskins.
It's Washington football team,
Exactly.
and I don't know anything about that information. what I would say with as Mike pointed out, the information we've been given is that the employee at a company, in a way, surrenders their ability to self-judge and to be judged within the standards of that company. Exactly. And I think that if you're going to say my tenure here, my ability to be promoted, my compensation, my standing within the institution is based on your preset rules, and if I don't perform and you can demonstrate where I've not performed and I've been ranked along that, that's just playing by the rules.
I think what makes an employee a good employee in this regard, the capacity for feedback, to register feedback and to correct behavioral issues accordingly and comport themselves in a way that is conducive to sustaining their employment and advancing through the company, is also what makes a good therapist a good therapist, or a good psychiatrist, which is the ability to sort of see beyond the behavioral veneer that someone projects, and then also to kind of put themselves in the other person's shoes and to comport themselves according to that signal versus the bluster and bullshit that's on the outside, because there's a lot that's kind of lost in translation there.
I like it. So Matt, when will you be CEO?
After this podcast, never.
After this podcast, absolutely never.
No, it's tough. Like I mean, within corporate America, like the whole a blouse kind of situation, absolutely unacceptable. Right,
now?
Immediate termination. Like,
well, the what I just brought up with the Washington Redskins,
right? Like you can't even put that in the same bucket as like something you would see. I think for the most part, I can
What was
speak
that,
to
Sean?
Exxon, but not towards anyone else. I mean, it's just that's immediate. Like flagrant foul termination, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the Redskins should have got fined for that.
Football team.
Fined. Yeah. That's a different world. So that's I'm
Not touching that.
I'm in the energy sector. I'm not. I do not work for the. Wait, are they still called the Redskins?
No. It's Washington football team. He does
Okay.
this every time. It's the
This is
Washington
you
football
trolling
team.
and baiting us again.
Can't wait until his team's called the
Yeah, you
Baltimore
better edit
Sports
that- you better
Association
edit out like the last 11 minutes.
No, I'm gonna keep it in, and it's gonna be called the Washington Redskins
versus ExxonMobil. Supreme
versus
Court case.
ExxonMobil. But isn't it funny though? Like, all of these, like, I mean, this is a giant corporation, the Washington Redskins, and
Can't be helped.
but
What were their like net earnings, like their net revenue last year?
but to be honest, from like you think like people are gonna act professionally, right? And because they're a professional organization, but they don't act professionally. The Washington Redskins instead
Stop. Game over.
instead they harass their employees, right? And this is 2021. This happened in 2021.
Yeah.
Their net revenue is $500 million a year.
So they're still
Redskins.
doing great, right?
Wow.
That's revenue.
But you would think like high professional, right? But in the end, it's just a bunch of frat boys
It's a
just fucking around, even in their 40s.
The Washington
Yeah,
Redskins.
Really?
You gotta wonder.
Excuse me. The Washington. Whatever.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't-
You gotta wonder who's running the show here.
They're
Like,
called the
what
Washington
do they
football
call
team now.
themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught that there. One of the things they had to send out like a corporate memo / like message on was not how do we improve the organization substantively, but rather like what are our cheerleaders up to? One of the few.
you should show your boobies more.
Wait, time out. My wife cares about all of us, and she, being a sweetheart that she is, because we sent her to the spa today, everyone, just so we could host this podcast in our home, but let's just say it's her home. She runs this house. She did say, would you gentlemen like any more Prosecco?
Yes.
Because we've gone through 9 bottles in 2 nights.
So nice.
So is that a yes?
Tell her you only drink rosé, which we know is
I'll
not
see
true.
you guys later. I'm leaving.
Yes, prosecco.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
It's good for the hot
But my
tub.
point being, and this is going to bring me to our next segment.
Please.
The Washington Redskins, all of their executives acting like children. Let's tie it all back in. Speaking of acting like children, Matt still plays Xbox, right?
Okay.
His favorite game is what? Battlefield?
Wait. So children.
Calm down.
So is it-
I'm bringing it back, dude. I'm bringing it back. He loves Xbox. He likes playing what? Battlefield?
Battlefield V or 5.
Battlefield V 5.
5.
Yeah. Okay. So all
Okay.
men basically act like children, even when they're in their later years. So I want to go from that Xbox, Battlefield 5, playing with guns. We have a gun right on the table here. I would like to do a little review of the gun you have here.
Sure.
And I'm gonna leave. I have to use the bathroom, but I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna grab the AK.
No, it's I can't. I don't know. So first of all, gun safety is incredibly important because Mike and I were taught this
16 and
In
18-year-olds should start thinking about it.
in our rifle merit badge, in our shotgun merit badge, and our archery merit badge. Safety first. And I've been exposed to weapons my entire life. Was just with my family. Like we've just had guns.
Yeah,
right?
likewise. Likewise.
Whether it be living in Miami, Florida, where it's cheaper to fire assault rifles into the air than it is to purchase fireworks. And given my birthday being on a holiday where fireworks are launched, I experienced it as a child, and my parents were like, we need to get inside because that's an AK-47.
Bullets are so expensive, though.
Now.
Not then. So, I mean, you were down there in Homestead. I mean, they were shooting weapons
Yeah.
instead of fireworks.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like how much are fireworks? Like,
So you can do your cost benefit analysis. I'll continue going in this, but so it's just been something that I've always been around, and safety is the most important part. And we learned that was just like with my father and our family, and also then
Absolutely.
additionally like reinforced at actual shooting ranges in Cub Scouts, right? So it's just been a part of that. My wife had never shot a weapon in her life ever. Yeah, she just got home actually. So my wife had never shot a weapon ever. And our first date, where she came out to visit me in Texas, we went to the gun range where I had purchased her some pink Mozzie Oak safety glasses and pink Mozzie Oak camo earphones. And this is our first date. And she's like, I will never touch a gun, whatever. And I owned an assault rifle, an AR-15. It's I was going to have it for the segment, but I don't know where the key is to the safe, so I can't access the weapon right now. So she fired her first weapon ever, and it was a Daniels Defense AR-15 with a suppressor, the scope, the works, and the smile that overcame her was infectious and incredible. So that's kind of like my experience. But yes, we do have a weapon here on the table. It's been here the entire time.
In the flesh.
In the flesh. There is you'll see I have the barrel pointed away from everyone, and now except Adam's walking across the screen now. Adam, man down range.
True to form, Adam walks in front of the gun.
So there is you can see here, like it's currently open. There is no round in the chamber. There are no bullets in the actual clip. Again, safety first. This was taken out of a safe that requires not only a combo but also a fingerprint scan, especially with our first child on the way. That's incredibly important. But this is a Glock. I believe it's a G7. Highly recommend a Glock weapon. So it's for those engineers out there and the 16 to 18-year-olds that are still building their 20,000-piece Millennium Falcon Lego set, this is the Legos of handguns. Ton of aftermarket accessories and parts. I've done nothing to this one. It's completely stock. And this is the G7, which is designed for competition and like marksmanship shooting, which I was a part of, the marksmanship team in ROTC. And with that, Mike, do you want to share the experience of, you were with me when my wife purchased this weapon for my birthday. You were with me at the range. My wife runs the home, and she's now telling me where the key is that I had no idea even existed. I'm just here paying her rent.
Wait, how did you get out of the safe?
No, this is the biometric fingerprint and code safe. The AR is in a separate manually locked safe.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So and then the ammo's in a separate safe, right?
You didn't just like shuffle it around and wait for the atoms to all perfectly align.
No. I like lit some like certain smoke machine matches and sang a song, and then the safe opened. So we have this Glock here. Now, Mike, this is the Glock. Again, no one is downrange. But as you can see, chamber is open, not a single shot in the round. You can see that because of the orange you see here. So if wrong camera. So if I were to actually close the chamber, I will then take the actual clip out. Again, no ammo. I've confirmed that there is no bullet in the chamber. Mike, do you want to walk us through the purchase experience and then the first round that I ever fired at the range through the barrel of this weapon?
I'm a little fuzzy on the purchase experience. I think I talked him into like giving you like a free box of ammo or something.
We did get that
with it.
Yep.
And then we went to the range, and and then they gave me a free Monster Energy drink too. So
they did
just a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would have cost.
It was a Four Loko.
So anywho, so we went on the range, and then the first thing, so Matt loaded it, and being technical here, and then just like almost, I don't want to say you held it sideways, but just like almost
and that's what a gangster does, son.
In almost cavalier fashion, like without like aiming really intentionally, just like pointed it downrange essentially and pulled the trigger and like got a perfect bullseye.
Seriously, on the very first shot. Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Very first shot, complete luck, perfect bullseye.
The wand chooses the wizard, Mr. Potter.
Yeah, it was and to the point where like...
Come, Mr. Bond. You know you enjoy killing just as much as I do.
So it actually being the first shot I've ever fired through the weapon, because like I didn't even like test fire it before I purchased it. I fired the shot, and I'm like, where did that go? Because it perfectly cleared the white out of the bullseye. Perfectly cleared. And I'm like, did it even fire? Is the gun broken? Does it not work? Was I just sold like, this is like guns made out of wax, right? And sure enough, I then pushed the button to bring the target. It was at maybe 20, 25 feet. Bring the target up. I'm like, that was a perfect bullseye. Like Mike's just like,
how did that happen?
My God. So that was my first, and that's the only time I've shot this weapon since purchase. But highly recommend the Glock.
45 ACP, 9mm.
9mm, holds up to 16 in the clip, 17 with one in the chamber if you carry it live. So a lot of people don't like this one because of its size. When you get your concealed like permit here in Texas, there are people who go to like the grocery store. Like it's Texas, right? We have our own energy grid, and a lot of people have their own like firearms that they carry with them all day in their vehicles, etc. So I don't do that. I don't have a need for that. But holding the gun sideways, Mike, that's just because I'm from Dade County, baby. So it's just part of our like DNA. But yeah, so highly recommend that if you're into that. But I have not actively gone. I would love to take you all to the range. We should go and utilize these, but otherwise it just sits in a safe and it's prepared for a zombie apocalypse. So.
Wonderful. I think, because you talked about the sideways holding, I think it's time for us to react to a rap song. I mean, we're 2 hours and 50 minutes in.
Safety first. I'm just
safety first
out here. Yeah. Everything's good.
So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put on a song by Cardi B, a lovely woman. I love her. I seriously would marry her in like 4 seconds. But it's a song. It came out a long time ago in Instagram world, 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And I looked this morning. I couldn't find any brand new rap songs that kind of caught my fancy, so we could kind of catch be above the curve. But Cardi B, Up. I think it's a good song. I want us to react to it because we do this at the end of now. It's become a tradition.
It's become
we do this at the end of our videos, and it's become very popular. So I want to put up on the screen here.
So this is like when they turn the lights on at the club when they're like last call.
Closing.
That's you playing the rap song. It's like, okay, the podcast is,
That's how you know the podcast is over. You put on a rap song and we all react to it. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pause it periodically. Right? I got it right here. We're gonna pause it periodically and comment. And I'm hoping for a lot of good comments from Mike. So this is Cardi B, and it's called Up. Yep. Now, Cardi B is on a vibe right now where she's... Is it on the screen?
You got it cast.
Not yet.
So cast a little
Okay, bit. I'm casting right now. Cardi B, Up.
Wait
YouTube
for it.
Up. Hold on, what's it say? Ready to watch. Sunday, desktop successfully linked to this device. Choose a YouTube video on your phone, tablet, or laptop, then watch here. So maybe when you push play, it just starts.
No, I don't think it does.
Damn it.
I think you need to get out of YouTube and just let me cast.
I'm not even in YouTube. It automatically pulled up YouTube. So look, I'm on the home screen.
Yeah, right?
Right, that's where I was. So you cast, living room.
Oh, and then it does that?
There you go, you're up.
Now you're up. We're good. Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, so just to catch up again, this is Cardi B, Up, and we'll be reacting to it. And I'm a big fan. Do you like Cardi B, Matt?
I'm more like heritage hip hop and rap, and
what's that mean?
It means I'm not a big fan of Cardi B.
She's not for me.
Mike, are you a big Cardi B fan?
Oh, huge Cardi B.
Really?
No.
Okay, so what we're gonna do here is, if you wanted to stop and comment, just say clean mic.
Just say what now?
Just say clean mic.
All right, got the.
Oh, we're good.
What are
we're
those
good.
shoes called? Like, they're not Louis Vuittons. What are they?
Yo,
called?
those are red bottoms.
Louboutins.
Louboutins. Okay.
Louboutins.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, Mike, are you watching up here, dude?
Those are Sarah's role play shoes.
All right, and let's turn it up so the mics can.
We're at 85.
Okay, let's rock. Ready? All right, is everyone ready to react to Cardi B, Up? Let's go.
Your computer volume will assist us.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Check this out.
Right,
check this out. Check this out. Ready?
Yeah,
It's
you're
up
good.
there.
Yeah, it's up. We're good.
And it's playing here. And it's playing here.
Full screen. Full screen.
Close the X. There we go. We're good.
Yeah.
Gucci.
Okay. Tell me when you want to stop.
Stop.
No. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Turn it up.
Clean mic.
Clean mic.
Huh? Opening scene.
Opening scene. I gotta say, I'm feeling Cardi B's quarantine weight.
Is this the first?
Is it up or down?
It's up.
I think it's up.
There are some things that Boy Scouts does not prepare you for. But I'd say the first act is off to a strong start with the cemetery desecration.
Yeah.
And so I
Cemetery desecration while wearing while wearing crosses. I didn't see crucifixes, and taking on that whole like mourning black.
See,
but
that's why you're an internist, because you recognize details like that.
Oh, sorry. And yeah, but just the desecration, if you will, and she doesn't look mournful.
She looks thick as a motherfucker, and I'm into it, dude. I mean, dude, we're talking about quarantine weight right here, and I'm into it.
You're liking it?
Yeah.
All right, Dirty Mike.
Because
Hold on. But quarantine weight. We've been in quarantine for a year now. Sean's down weight. Mike's down weight.
We're
I'm
down weight.
But Cardi B's not down weight, and I'm into it. Let's keep playing.
Clean Mike.
Oh, that's a great pause.
If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up.
Yeah.
Then it's stuck.
Translate.
If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck.
Is it about an erection? What is that about?
I think it's about an erection.
And like specifically an
Yeah,
erection. That
yeah.
lasts
Specifically
for
about the
4
one
hours
I
or
have
longer.
currently.
Priapism, really.
So if it's up, if it's up, if it's up, if it's up, it's a medical emergency. It's 911 or
Please go to your nearest emergency room and consult your doctor.
urology. Yeah.
This is like the.
What if in every ED commercial now they just said, if
Yeah.
it's up, if it's up, if it's up, if it's up, then you have a problem.
And it's been 4
then
hours.
You have a problem.
Yeah.
Please
It's
contact a professional
priapism
medical expert
immediately.
immediately.
What are your thoughts on Cardi? Are you attracted to her? She's going a little heavy on the plastic surgery, but I'm into it.
I mean,
Matt,
so I'm a married man.
Mike,
I mean, it's I don't know what there's so
if Cardi B walked in, would you and she was hitting on you? Would you be into it?
I don't know what Cardi B even looks like, because
She looks like this.
No, she doesn't look like that.
Look at the
doesn't.
screen right now.
She doesn't. That is not what she looks like, because you're looking at camera angles, you're looking at cinematography, you're looking at
Right.
makeup.
Okay.
What she looks like through
right.
my
Sean.
eyes.
Yeah. Right.
What
Sean.
am I even looking at?
You know what I'm into.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
this.
She's not at the library reading a book, so Sean's not into
She's not
it.
trying to figure out the world, solve problems.
I'm into it.
She's not engaged. Okay.
You're into a facsimile of like the,
It's not a lie if you believe it.
No, go ahead. I'm into the facsimile of.
you're into a simulation, essentially. I mean, you're into
Yes, absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Artificial intelligence.
Clean Mike. Clean Mike.
Clean Mike.
That's a good
Great
pause.
pause.
Adam, do you like her better as a blonde or a brunette?
I'm feeling her better as a blonde, especially right now. And by the way, they just promoted a vibrator.
That's what
That was in the last scene. Matt?
I mean, if it would have helped me light my fireplace, I would have been in a good spot in the last blizzard.
So brunette.
All I'm
Okay.
saying is that the fruit that seduced Adam was actually a Tide Pod.
Clean Mike. So while not the biggest Cardi B fan, I really want to give credit to the fact that she has successfully blended dominatrix with K-pop
Yep.
dance group with cemetery desecration, and that's not an easy trifecta to hit.
It's almost like they were like, Cardi B, do you want outfits? Actually, they said, Cardi B, how many outfits do you want in this?
Yeah.
And she was like, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
just yes.
She just said yes.
Yes.
I mean, you got to respect the amount of outfits that she gets in this song, dude.
How many outfits are we at so far?
We're probably at 4.
That's more than
That's a
I don't
full
know,
scene.
that's like-
But they have to
I
do
don't
a
even-
full scene in every
I
outfit.
only
Yeah,
have like
yeah.
3 shirts.
But only one vibrator so far.
Well, only one vibrator. I mean, you really only need one when it's that quality. Another
Wouldn't know, but
another
sure.
product plug.
God.
Matt's like, I've made a huge mistake.
Also, you'll notice that her sneakers almost have like a bovine foot effect. Back to Mike's details analysis. Like that left shoe has kind of like a bovine hoof sort of situation going on.
Mike?
I don't know what kind of like ergonomics that supports, but
I don't have my glasses on, so I'm pleading ignorance on footwear, which I don't know anything about anyway.
you're
Looks
bursting.
like she has like sneakers on.
There you go.
I don't know.
This isn't rap music.
Oh, wow.
Clean Mike. Adam, walk us through what we just saw.
I'll walk you through. She was in some sort of a see-through plastic
It was
that
saran
I'm
wrap.
into.
It was saran wrap.
Yeah, it was it was the stuff that you like buy bedding in that you unzip and take out. And she has
Shut up. Dude,
gotten
Matt,
into it.
I'm tired of Matt disrespecting Cardi B right now. Seriously, he is. Picture Sarah in saran wrap in that bedroom.
So Sarah's been in a lot of things in that bedroom, and
saran wrap.
and that's
is never
why I
real.
married her along many other reasons.
So you're
But,
just not into Cardi B being.
I'm not into Cardi B at all. I mean, this is
Really?
not, this is not rap music to me. It's
not for me.
I mean, look at the Snoop video of when Snoop's talking about like Future and some of these other current rappers that we're
Wait,
dealing
is
with.
this actually like what is this? What is
And
this?
No. See,
And it's up, and
he's
it's
not
up, and it's
listening.
up,
He's
and it's
not
up.
listening.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't understood a single word except up the entire time.
You didn't understand the line where she said, broke N-words don't deserve no pussy. Yeah, ain't that right?
No,
I thought that was a great line.
The whole time I've been here, just like 404 reference.
404 server error.
Yeah.
Well, luckily there's only a minute left, Matt.
Good.
Okay,
And,
do you want to play it or you have another comment?
No, we can play.
Fantastic.
She's like the Mona Lisa. Like she just finds eye contact from across the room. See that.
She's like the Mona Lisa. She just finds eye contact. Just a quick lyric check. If he had a twin, I'd let him run a train.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're in the third act.
Now we're the third.
I mean, if he had a twin, I'd let him run a train.
God.
Matt's like, oh my God, what's happening? Let's keep it going.
Nope.
What?
Wow. I gotta say, you guys are hating on Cardi. I enjoy the quarantine wait.
What?
I enjoy the twerking and I enjoy the multiple outfits.
And he won't apologize.
And
for
I'm
it.
not gonna lie, if it's up, then it's stuck. And I agree with that.
How can we tie this back to the Disney movie Up, or the Pixar movie Up?
That's all over the. I didn't want to say that because it's all over the comments. The comments on YouTube are like, "Can you
this is like-
imagine
this is
kids typing up into YouTube?"
This is
Yep.
the reciprocal of that movie.
I think we should rebrand the podcast as White Guys Reacting to Hip Hop Video.
Yeah. Sit through the first 3 hours, but we react to a hip hop video
Close
at the
with
end.
this, right? Question.
You don't like Cardi B, do
Well,
you?
Here's my question: Is Cardi B peaking, or is she trying too hard right now?
I think she's for me personally, she's at the level. She's at the line, right? She's gone to she's on the plastic surgery vibe where she's like right on my line, but she's almost over my line.
close.
Even my line, she's almost over.
So where would you compare it to Katrina's
I
career?
don't even know what you're talking about, like career wise or
No. Like, let's look her up, dude.
it, Mike.
No. He's not.
Do you remember when she has her moments. Like I remember she tweeted out a video where she like looked at her taxes or something, or she looked at her tax return and it was like her live reaction.
There's the before after, dude.
And
not
she
up
was
yet.
like, she
Oh, you
saw
gotta
that she had to pay
cast
like
it, sorry.
$5 million
right there.
in taxes or something, and was like,
damn
I
it.
want receipts.
Really? Like,
Dude, look,
beautiful girl, but she's
find
totally
her-
changed.
find her.
Look at the Kardashian before.
Okay, look, Mike, look up
Beautiful
there.
girl.
Look up there. See how
Why?
Oh, would you shut up? But you see?
No, because I don't have my glasses on.
Anyway, she's gotten a lot of plastic surgery, and I think she's at the level where I'm still cool with it, but I think she's addicted now.
It's her body. She
I
can
mean,
do
if
what
it's
she
up,
wants.
if it's up, if it's up,
How do
if
you
it's
know
up,
that
then
she
it's stuck.
actually had plastic surgery. How do you know that? Like, has she?
She's
said
right
that?
there. Put your glasses on.
I mean, she didn't use like that jaw machine where you just chew on the
No,
ball and
like-
it gives you
like I
like.
s- No, but I said the thing about cinematography on purpose because
I
like,
kinda
you can
enjoy her
really
nose
change the way
prior,
someone appears with how you film something, how you take a picture, like it's makeup and stuff.
I
Like,
actually like her prior.
Me too.
I think she's more natural before.
how do you know she's had any surgery?
Look at put your glasses on and look at the screen.
Dude, I'm saying my whole premise is that images lie, and then you're saying, look at this image, and that's my proof. Like,
We just watched an entire music video. How do you alter that image?
that is a moving image, a moving picture, if you will, a talkie.
Yeah, you ever seen Star Wars? They made that up.
How do you? I saw the Death Star.
Yeah,
It's
Carrie
right
Fisher was
there.
dead, and yet she acted in 10 scenes.
Yeah. If the
Jesus
Death
Christ.
Star doesn't exist, then how come I saw it blow up? Yeah, it doesn't exist after it blew up.
Where's my X-wing?
Weren't there like 2 or 3 Death Stars that blew up?
Two.
2. Good.
Two, and
One
like,
and a half, really.
then like another like
The one was still under
moon
construction,
that
right?
was a Death
Yeah.
Still
Star.
building it, yeah.
Yeah.
Soon we'll be blowing up suns that are Death Stars.
There is a like 18,000 piece Millennium Falcon Lego set.
What would that take us? 3 hours?
No, there's actually time records. If you go on Amazon and like look at the comments, like how long does this take to build? The guy's like, the first time I built it only took me this much. I then disassembled it and built it again as fast as I could with like a bunch of Four Locos. And
I'd watch that.
And then another guy's like,
It's not on.
Yeah, you gotta like reset that cast.
the one looks like a funeral picture.
I mean, if it's up, and then it's up, then it's up, then it's up, right?
Cardi, come on the cast and explain what happened.
I would love to have Cardi B on this cast. And have
Matt's like-
Matt
Matt's like,
claim that he doesn't like her while she's 3 feet away.
That's like,
I will look her in the eyes and say that, and she'll tell me to F off probably. And then I'll bring up a bunch of incredible rappers who were actually poetic and had real lyrics
Matt will be like,
and set the stage for her and
Right.
gave her the platform.
have-
Right.
Amen.
Matt will be like, I have a letter from.
So you're
Snoop Dogg
telling
from
me,
when I got
Matt-
my Eagle Scout, and then she'll be like, oh.
Yeah, Dr. Dre sent me a letter when I got Eagle Scout.
So you're telling me, Matt, if I brought Cardi B and I was like, hey man, I'm like really interested in marrying this girl, you wouldn't warm to her?
So there's a fine line I need to draw there between warming to someone
Okay.
because of their artistic ability as an artist
No,
and
no,
a rapper
I wanna
versus
say-
What if I
Adam-
said she's important to me, dude?
I would say, Adam, this is your wife and I will respect her, but I still do not enjoy her
Matt,
music.
It's the same. It's the same. It's the same thing as the. I like that. The words were different, but the question was actually the same as basically the abortion question, which is you're presented with false dichotomy and no information.
I don't think it's that false. Cardi, if you see this, I'll marry you tomorrow. I'll call myself Offset. I'll rename myself Offset. What do you got to say?
shit.
Isn't Cardi like? No judgment.
How
here.
old?
No judgment here. Is she divorced from some guy from Migos?
Offset.
Migos guy.
Yeah, she is.
You want
But I would marry her.
You want to get in the middle of that noise?
Yeah, of course I would.
All right, cool.
Okay, cool. She's only 28.
Adam will be like, I'm going to make millions of dollars telling this story.
No way. I'd sign the prenup right. Cardi, I'll sign the prenup right now.
You're based.
I won't take any money from you.
no,
Let's
not
get
taking-
married tomorrow.
Not taking any money from her, like you then parlaying that into like your own income stream.
No, absolutely
Explain to me
not.
how you're different than Kevin Federline.
It's no difference.
Except he was a background dancer for Cardi.
No, he's a background
Britney.
dancer for Britney. Cardi, I mean, God, what a great month or two that would be before we eventually got divorced.
That's why you signed the prenup.
Alrighty.
That's why I think we're good, right?
I'm going to call it time of death.
Yeah. 3 hours and 12 minutes in. I think we're good.
Good night, Mr. Bond.
Good night, Mr. Bond.
Thanks for checking in.
I expect you to die, Mr. Bond.
I just want to say, before you close things out, like I think it's awesome. I mean, you all have been down here a few times, but to come down here to be in Texas, to host the podcast in Texas for its 19th episode, really cool. It's something I'll always remember, especially as long as I'm in this home. Now, every time I walk out, and Sarah's
You'll
like,
remember the cast.
Why are these flags up? You know, like it's no, we'll take them down as soon as this ends.
But you'll remember the cast.
Absolutely, this is a memory that I'll carry for a long time. So I always appreciate you all visiting. I know it coming in from Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, right? Like, definitely appreciate that. So glad to just be a part of this moment in history.
As well, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going out to Papa J. Show Day.
Welcome back.
SHA.
Oh, would you like me to turn on some music?
WTI. He's a Chicago born and bred. He's also on Disney Plus. Check out Safety. Yes. He also has a self-help book, which I can't remember the name of, but I'm going to look up right now. Talk about how a 13-year-old has a self-help book real quick. Sean?
Well, it's interesting because I think it depends who the target audience is. I think if it's like, hey, I'm 13 and here's how you can get here too.
Here's how you can get here.
There's
too.
a lot of 13-year-olds on Xbox who tell me how I should be playing.
Right. And then he's got a lot to draw on. Arguably, he's more qualified than we are. But if it's like, hey, the guy going through a middle life crisis or individual trying to become a rap star, you know, there's a lot that comes up in life after the age of 13 that might, you know,
To be honest, I can't find it, and I'm not going to research any further. But Papa J does have a self-help book, but more importantly, he has a song called Shorty. Listen to the song. He's on Spotify. He's on YouTube. PAPAJAY, and he's on Disney Plus. In a movie called Safety. Check it out. It's awesome. Dude, thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks, everybody.
Shawty, yeah. Shawty, yeah. Shawty, yeah. Want you by me, my baby, be with me, I'll hold it down. Give you a crown, love you, smiling pretty too. Girl, I just lay down so wow. I wanna show you all to the crowd. If them haters running their mouth, we ain't got no time for them clowns. I just be hustling, working and grinding and trying to win. Can't wait to see you again. Gotta make time for my homies, I'm bringing them with me. So baby girl, bring your friends. She wanna know what we finna do. Run off the mall with me and my crew. If she need money, I buy some shoes. I throw her a few, make it done with it do. Yeah. Shawty, yeah. You the only one I need, baby. I ain't gotta really think, shawty. I might not get on one knee, but I'll still give you a ring. Call me, know me, I'ma still keep it the same. We gon' keep doing our thing, hear what I'm saying? Put some respect in my name. Hey, my name is Papa J, shawty. My main thing, I swag crazy. Always up in your bed, baby. Love to make you laugh, give you anything you ask. Oh.